Welcome to Journey on a Journey Talk Show, a show where we discuss matters on social issues that affect each and every one of us, cutting across the socio-economical status. As I promised, I'm going to be bringing very informative videos on various issues, and today our topic is dyslexia. We are here at Rian Talent School in Kitengela. I have the amazing founder of the school who is doing a wonderful job with the children. She's going to take us through what is the dyslexia, how do you identify children with dyslexia. Let me allow her to introduce herself and then I pick it from there. Karibu sana, introduce yourself to my viewers, tell them who you are, and then we proceed.
Thank you very much, Jane, and most welcome here at Reagem Talent School. My name is Nancy Muringo Geshoke. I am the founder of Dyslexia Organization Kenya, and also the founder of this school where we take care of children with dyslexia. That is Reagem Talent School. You're most welcome, and thank you.
Take us through, how did you come up with this beautiful idea of starting a school?
It is not so easy how I came up with this. I would say I'm not the only person who came up with the idea.
Yes.
It is a teamwork of myself and my twin sister, and this is because we have children. My son, my last born son, and my sister's son has dyslexia.
Okay.
And we realized that it was not discovered by the teachers, whom we thought that who could give us advice. They could tell us what is the problem with our sons, but it was not easy because the teachers themselves didn't know. So the reason why we started this, I would say, is from having a problem ourselves, and we were looking for a solution. And when we realized, or when I knew that my son has dyslexia, I felt like I would stand up on a rooftop, tell people that my son is not stupid, my son is not lazy, he's not refusing to read, but it is something that is within himself, and if it is not looked at or he doesn't get a special support, he is not going to just have a normal life like any other child. So we started the institution, or we started the organization, basically to build a solution that of a problem that was existing.
Actually, someone said that necessity is the mother of invention.
For us, it was true. It was very necessary. I realized my son has this learning, and I would always say that he's a very lucky person, or a lucky child, because I was a teacher. I was teaching him in his preschool, and it was so embarrassing, Jane, when I could teach other people's children to read, and my own son is not reading. So it was that difficult. And as much as I tried to share with other teachers, nobody seemed to know why this very bright boy, because he could do mathematics very well, he was the social boy in the house, and he was doing everything well, but he could not read, write, and spell like his age mate. Actually, we struggled with him learning alphabets. Like how easy it is. It was easy for other children to do alphabets. A for apple, B for boy. I actually can't even tell when he knew the difference between W and Y, because he would interchange. When he looks at W, he would call it Y. When he sees Y, he would call it W. But when he is reading like the word was, or he would call the word the correct one. But when the W is studying on itself, it was a challenge. He was always confusing the two. And when he's writing, he used to reverse B and D, he used to reverse N and U, and this one was not just in reading. We used to make fun of him because when you come to visit us at that age, when he was 5-6 years, he loved very much showing people the album. But his album, people were standing with their head, because that is what we used to say. He used to keep the album upside down, and he would tell you, this is this, this is that, and he was able to do that. We are like, how come that he was seeing this?
You would
put it upside
down.
Yes.
And to him he could tell.
Yeah. And it was easy for him. So that one we were not sure, or I was not like it didn't pick it like it was a challenge. We used to make fun of him. And he used to wear shoes like this, opposite.
What you call banana.
That one. And when you tell him, Martin, your shoes are not well, you didn't wear your shoes well on the right foot, and he would just interchange the legs and like this and say, do I walk like this? So we had so many other things that we would look and tell that everything is not okay. But I didn't know. I thought that he was just mischievous, or he was just becoming naughty.
Now take us through. Someone is out there sitting with just kicked in and talked about dyslexia. What is dyslexia?
Well, dyslexia, it is a person, or it inhibits in itself in a person whose intellectual is okay. I would say sometimes it is above average, or it is in average. But when it comes to reading, he has the impairment of reading, spelling, and writing. Not that he has any visual problem, not because he has any hearing problem. It's just like he is not, he's not able to blend sounds to form words. But when he is interacting with other people, he's okay. When he is doing his own things or work with his hands, it's very okay. So it is actually well identified when the child goes to school. There are so many other telltales would look at and see this could maybe lead to, but you need to confirm, or it is confirmed at school, because that is where we have reading, writing, and spelling. So IQ of a person with dyslexia is average or above average. But why we have the challenges with these children in academic performance, and that's why they are known slow learners, is because everything that happens in school revolves around reading, writing, and spelling. So if your information, the information you get is either you read it or you're expected to write, then and you are unable to do that, then your academic performance will go down, or it is not going to be seen as you are performing, but not because you are not getting what is being taught. You are not getting the concept. You get the concept, but to write it, that is where the challenge comes in.
So, dear teachers out there, it's advisable that these days there are a lot of ways that you can gain knowledge. If you find a child in your class who is struggling, at least you can Google and find out. And again, Nancy has stated very well, a dyslexic child is not stupid, nor is he
not lazy.
So
he is not interested. There is this perception of people think that this one is not interested in learning, and the reason why this is because they are very outgoing. They are working well outside, so you find that their interest could not be in books, but it is not a choice. It's because that their brain is working extremely hard. It is said that a brain of a dyslexic child works 5 to 7 times harder than a person who does not have dyslexia. So when the teachers think of a person with the dyslexia and you make this kind of a comment that work harder, actually it is putting the person who have worked very hard into a situation where it is now very, very difficult, and that leads now to either child blocking and refusing to go on, or and it's not, the word refusing is not the right one, because it is not out of their choice that they do not want, but the brain is extremely tired for reading because it is wired differently.
How can a teacher in school who has not gotten the education to identify a child with dyslexia. If a person watches this video, kindly elaborate to us some of the signs and symptoms that a teacher can identify and be able to help a child.
Well, it is not. I would say it is not a scientific, or it is not a rocket science thing to do.
Yeah.
I'll say that when you have 15, 20, 25 children in class, and you find that this specific child, you are spending same time with them, you are giving them the same strategies, and you find that one or two students in your class is not getting exactly what you are teaching, but when they are outside, if you want to send someone, they are always wanting to go. If you want, if in the leadership, they are doing very well, and the interaction, they are very well. So in your simple assessment, you can't say that this child has any kind of intellectual or cognitive problem. That is the case of a classic where we would say now this child requires more or further assessment to really confirm, is he having dyslexia or is he having another specific learning need, because he is doing everything else well apart from reading. We have teachers or people who think that just reversing is a symptom. Yes, it is, but it is not enough to confirm. So if you see a person reversing, a student struggling very much to read, a student who is having laboring in reading, and showing no interest in reading, but when you give some other activities, the child is so much interested. So anything that the child is showing not interest, especially when it comes to reading, especially when it also comes to spelling and writing, and they will have bizarre kind of spelling and writing. That is a classic, a case where I would refer for further assessment. Because you as a teacher, you are not enough. As a teacher, it's not enough to say this one is dyslexic. So it requires a further assessment.
Okay, as I believe, as a pioneer organization dealing with the dyslexic people, what are some of the challenges that you face, being that you are the pioneer people?
Well, we are the pioneer because we started speaking about dyslexia where almost nobody in Kenya had talked about it. I'm sure there are people who had known about it before, but going out in public and trying to teach or train public, we are the first people where we started in 2007, and then all through 2008, 2009, and by 2010 there was enough. We had gathered enough courage, because also when we were starting, you see, it was also new to us, and we did not have that information, and there was nowhere in the country where you could go to learn this. We learned in the internet. We worked with the other dyslexia organization from UK and from US, but in the country there was not that person or that group of people which was talking about dyslexia. So the first thing, or the first challenges we got, is people not really believing that it could be a challenge that required attention. And if you go to research which has been done before, 1 out of 5 children in a school, in a class, 1 out of 5 children has dyslexia. So when I think of attention given to this group, you don't have many people not use with visual impairment, with hearing impairment, but this kind of difficult, it is affecting a very large group of children. And there was a research which was done by an organization that said there could be, or there was a standard 8 child or children could not read standard 2 work.
Oh.
I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
But this research, I think, they were referring to children with the maybe learning need, and they had not got the attention that is required, or the kind of support that was required then, or to these children. So getting resistance from the group, from the people, not believing that this is a condition that requires attention is one challenge. The other challenge is parents not really believing, or parents being in denial. I remember doing an assessment to a child, and I was like telling the parent, I have seen a good classic case of dyslexia. And the parent said, no, my child cannot be dyslexic.
What?
And I was like, why? What do you think of dyslexia? And it's, I am a child psychologist and my child does not have dyslexia. And I was like, why do you take it so negative? When if you look at it differently, it is a gift. You just need to look at
a psychologist who is telling you this.
Yes. And I felt like I may not know what psychologists is, but I was doubting, because I thought that in the class of psychology, learning needs is one of the lessons that you that is learned. The other challenge is teachers too. We have problem of teachers not knowing how to give support, and I don't want to blame the teachers. It's because they are not trained on how to give support to these children. So that is another challenge, where we do assessment and we write a report with recommendation, and then we send the parents to the teachers with the recommendation. And some of the recommendation requires for a child to be given differentiated instruction, and the teacher doesn't understand what is this differentiated instruction that the child requires. Others think that the child needs to repeat class.
Exactly, because wait a minute, Nancy, because what happens to schools, if a child doesn't perform, they repeat. Nothing has changed. The same environment, the same teacher, the same instructions. What difference are you making?
If for the parents, and this is for the parents, if you have a child with dyslexia and you are expecting them to change without changing the method of teaching and the method of instruction, it is not going to happen. And then dyslexia is not developmental delay, that when the child grows older, this developmental will catch up. They will catch up. Dyslexia, if you are dyslexic, you are dyslexic. And in learning, it requires differentiated instruction.
What are these differentiated instructions?
It is not a science, as I'm saying. It's not a scientific do you call it? It's like a very difficult thing. In a class situation, differentiated instruction is this. You may have a child who is in standard 4 and he is reading as a class, as a PP2. This child who is in class 4, he is at the same age with his class, with his peers. The differentiated instruction is, when you're giving reading work, don't expect him to do this class 4 work, because
I also get it. I also don't know.
He has. If you give him this class 4 work, it is it's so advanced, and he may not have understood what even blending is. So you are supposed to give him at least maybe some few minutes of your time, and bring him back to where he is. So that is what we say, teaching at the child's pace. But bringing the child to PP1 or grade 1, it is the child will be embarrassed. The child will suffer some psychosocial effect, because you see, he is older, he's going to go back, emotionally he'll be affected. So what you do is, in the differentiated instruction, you take that work bring it to where he is, and then also give him some time. Let the child understand that we are doing this because even if we give you this work. And there are some other children with dyslexia because no two children with dyslexia are the same.
The same is true.
So each one of them has its own characteristic, and they show different ways of support. There are those who are who are good listeners, and they will answer questions very well, but they will have problem in reading. So the differentiated instruction and accommodation that you can do, pair them with somebody who is able to read well. You read, ask question, I listen, and I will answer the questions. So that way, you have accommodated this child with dyslexia who has problem with reading. He will also actually try to read from what the neighbor, the person is reading, you know. So that is differentiation and accommodation. So pairing the child with somebody who is able to read, that is an accommodation. And grouping them with group of ability, that's very fine. And you find that there are children with dyslexia who are good in mathematics. So when you think of reading as the oxygen or the fuel that drives academic activities, this child is not able to do academic activities, not because he has another problem, it's because he doesn't know how to read. So when you tell a child who is not reading to go back, to repeat, and he is able to do mathematics, so you are doing a lot of disservice to this child.
True. It's true. And actually that happens a lot, Nancy. I personally am a school social worker, and I've worked with children for close to 15 years. And I found that children are being taken, a child in grade 5 being taken to PP2 simply because he can't read.
And it is like really, you go back to that class because we don't teach sounds.
Exactly. How did you skip PP2 where people learn how to read and got to grade 5, which is very unfair.
Very unfair because one, when you do this, the child is self-esteem is low, and when the self-esteem is low, even if you want to bring anything, the child will not learn.
It's true. It's very true. It's very true. I remember one time I posted on my status about dyslexia, and that evening a friend in Mombasa sent me a message. Thank you so much for your post. I have identified at least 2 pupils in my class that I feel fit the category that you've described. You see, so information needs to be out there, and I really like what you are doing. Because you give information, and that's how actually we are doing this video, to put the information out there to enlighten people more on dyslexia. How can a parent assist a child? Because parents, they get to a point where they are very frustrated. They are doing everything. They are buying books, yet the child cannot read.